production is brought to you by DHBN, WTHC Radio, and Stoner Records.
Welcome to the room where the green vibes flow, where the lights shine bright and the knowledge will grow. From soil to the sun, we'll master the art. To grow rooms, the place, let's spark up the start. The grow room where the secrets bloom. Plant your dreams, watch them consume. We'll guide the buds to a perfect tune. Step inside, it's the grow room. Flow where the lights shine bright and the knowledge will grow. From soil to the sun, we'll master the art. To grow rooms, the place, let's spark up the start. The grow room where the secrets bloom. Plant your dreams, watch them consume. We'll guide the buds to a perfect tune. Step inside, it's the grow room.
All right.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Another week. Yeah, thanks for coming in, everybody. Sorry we missed you last week, but life happens, y'all.
Yep, life happens. So this week we're going to talk about some lights and lighting types and times and even brands.
Yes, brands. Yeah, that's the big. Used to be back in the old day, brands was everything, but with Amazon and commerce the way it is, no offense to the high dollar light guys. I'm sure they're great, but $100 light these days is just as good, in my opinion, as a $500 light. I mean,
You can go spend $600 on a spider farmer, you know, or what is it? The hydro. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah.
Hydrofarm. I've used a lot of them. I've used Vespa. I've used what is it? Well, the Mars hydros. I've used
Mars. Yep.
I've used Mars for years, and I'm pretty much sold on Mars. I've got a Mars hydrolite that I've had for probably 6 or 7 years. I still use it for my seedlings when I do indoor grows. You know, but they do fade after a year or two. You know, after a year's worth of cycles, the diodes will start to fade. But for seedlings and stuff, they work great.
Yeah, I know people that do the metal halide and the high pressure sodium.
Yeah,
those are good if you want to pay a lot for your electric.
yes. Yeah. Yeah, they put out a lot of red spectrum, and they're pricey. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're the power usage is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and beware when you're buying your LED lights and stuff. You absolutely want to buy a light that has UV. You know, that has the ultra, the ultra red, the far red. But don't go crazy. Don't go crazy with it. Don't go crazy on far red. They can only handle so much, and then it starts to be a bad thing.
Right.
So don't go crazy with it. A little bit of far red is great.
You got LED, HID, high pressure sodium, metal halide. Uh, I don't CFL. I'm trying to remember what that one is.
Uh,
But like full spectrum is what you
yeah,
want to use.
about any kind of light will work. Pot isn't particular, but it's all about the lumens. It's all about the intensity of the light.
Right.
Yeah, the screw-in light bulb in the ceiling's not going to put out the intensity of like a 5-watt LED. Not going to do it.
It'll work. It'll work for like your little sprouts for a little while. But once they start getting bigger, they start sucking up more of the light. So it has to be like I'm about to upgrade my light next grow. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm gonna go with yet, but
I came up through and cut my teeth through the whole. There was no such thing as ordering lights. You
right.
couldn't go anywhere and buy. You had to make that shit. You had to Frankenstein it basically. We had to go to Lowe's or down to the local Home Depot store or wherever local hardware and buy these, these HIDs and metal halides and come home and take them apart and make our own custom fixtures, our own custom hoods. It was very inefficient. It was super hot. Good God, it was hot. You
Yeah,
know,
when you're running a ballast, that thing produces so much heat with a ballast.
along with I had to move my ballast to another room and then have my bulb in the actual grow room.
Yeah.
Still, it was just super. It was so inefficient, super hot. But I did it. I absolutely did. I did it.
I'll let you touch
And
on this one, Mucho. Full spectrum and targeted spectrum.
what's the difference between
What's the
full
difference?
spectrum and targeted spectrum? I don't really go nerd on lights. Full spectrum is going to give you the same thing as the sun. Period. A targeted spectrum light is going to be more in line with what weed wants. There it's targeted. There's so much blue wavelength, there's so much red wavelength, and there's not much anything else in between. You don't get the full, you know, everything. You get everything from the sun. You get X rays, you get gamma rays, you get blue ray, you get red, you get white wavelength, you get everything. That's full spectrum.
A regular
Um,
light will work for sprouts and seedlings like little babies, but other than that, you don't want that's not what you want to use to grow. Blue light is for vegetation growth that helps a lot with vegetation, and the red light. I'm not 100% sure what the red light does. I know it helps with like growth of like your buds.
it does. It's part of the flowering process. Um, in order for a plant to grow properly in vegetative state, it needs tons of blue. It loves blue because
Yep.
it reacts well, with the photosynthesis. But the flowers, for whatever reason, react to red, far red, ultra red. That's why people started using the metal halides, that orange, that real orange tint. It's got a lot of red.
Like your outdoor light that you see in your street lights
Yep,
is
you can tell.
actually technically a grow light.
Yes, you can tell by the color of it. If you drive up there and it looks orange, it's a metal halide.
Yeah.
If you drive up there and it looks white or blue, it's a high pressure sodium.
Yep.
They do make bulbs with both kind of filaments in them. That's got a high pressure sodium and a metal halide in it. They are expensive as hell, and I don't think they work very well at all. They
They're
make it
expensive
nice.
to buy and they're expensive to run.
They're
Operation costs. You have to look at your operation cost. LED is going to
expensive.
run you, depending on how many you have. If you have like two LED lights, like I have blurples right now, I have a blurple one. I'm going to change next year. I don't know what I'm going to change it to yet. But LED will run you way cheaper than metal halide or the high pressure sodium because you're not running a ballast.
Yeah, I forget what the brand name was. Nature's Sun or Sun Grow or Sun something or another. But every 4 grows, it was going. it was costing me $100 for a brand new 1,000-watt metal halide bulb
Yeah.
because we would run them at full intensity. When you're running them, unless you have got a digital ballast and you can dial that shit back, which we'll talk about later. Back in the old days, you only had one kind of ballast, and it was like put the brick on the gas pedal, and it was go, man. You'd burn them
Yeah.
damn bulbs out in 6 months. You would burn a bulb out. A year, they were done. But
So
it was costing me
when
$100.
you're in a vegetative state, you need like 18 hours of light, 18 to 20 hours of light while they're growing. And then when you want them to flower, you switch them to 12 hours of light.
Mhm.
Um, that being said, you always want to make sure your light's going to be efficient enough because you are running it for so long. I'm not gonna lie, my electric bill's a little high. Um,
Yeah, that's why I would recommend people to go LED from the get go, just from the very
I need a
beginning.
new I need a new one. Mine's a couple years old.
I remember this was back in 2008. 2008. How close should I hang my grow lights above the plant? Depends on what you got, actually. If you're using high pressure sodium, uh, or stuff like that, at least 16 inches, at least. You'll burn the shit out of your plants. You will burn the shit
I've
out of
done
them.
it. I've done it
Uh,
with an LED light.
an LED, they can grow right up to it.
Well, the one that I had, I put it too close. It was a little sprout of ice cream cake. I got an ice cream cake seed. I
Uh,
started it. It popped up to be like that big, and I had the light right on it, and it killed it.
yep.
In like 2 days, it burned it right up. It was
Too close or too far from the plant. If it's too
uh,
close, it'll do just what Jimmy said. It will nuclearize it. It will cook it. If it's too far away, it'll make it leggy. It'll make it stretchy and leggy.
real tall.
Yep. You want the Goldilocks zone. It's not one size fits all. You want to adjust it. And like I say, the more you do it, the more you'll realize, oh shit, I need to just set my little seedling light at 1 foot and leave it there, or whatever. But yeah, you'll get the hang of it. I'm gonna tell if my plant is getting too much light. There's no such thing.
You're running so. There's different types call for different lights. Like when you got the photos, you have to run those in a light cycle. If you have autos, you can leave your light on 24 hours a day for 3 months, and you'll have weed in 3 months. Like it'll just grow.
Speaking
And
of that, I was going to do an unboxing today. But back to the not enough light. If you're growing indoors, you could put LED lights across the ceiling. You could put them on the floor. You could put them on the sides of the walls. Mount everywhere. You could walk in there, and it would be like walking into a sun tanning booth. Okay,
yep,
and it still would not be 1% of what the sun puts out. Okay,
right.
that's what I'm saying. The sun is hands down the end all beat all. It is the bar. Okay. So indoors, it would
I think it's like
be,
5 million lumens.
yeah, indoors, it would be keeping your plant happy. It's not the enough light thing. The more light, the better indoors. The more light, the better, period. Being. Uh, but in order to compensate for the lack of light, you'd have to make everything else perfect, more or less indoors. The heat, the temperature, the humidity, your newts. That's the trick. That's the trick.
Yep.
Okay.
I
But
actually
what
need to
was
buy some more newts.
yeah, I showed you mine. I got all mine in. Man, I'm about to get done with my remodel, and now I can go full tilt boogie on my garden. It's gonna be in 2 weeks. I'm gonna be planting my autos.
Yeah, you should be starting
Two-
them in the next
two-
couple weeks. Yeah, you should be starting them soon. Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, it'll be what is this? This is the last weekend No, we got one more week of March. No,
Yep.
3 weeks in. Mid-March or mid-April is when I'm planting here in Missouri. But I'm going to start mine in a greenhouse outdoors.
The funny
So
thing is here around April 20th, around 420 is when you want to get them in the ground. So sprout them the first week. I sprouted mine last year the first week of April, and actually around 420, I was having her replant them for me, and it was around April 20th, yeah. And they're like they as long as you're growing indoors, outside weather doesn't matter. Like I've been growing these guys that I got them. It was snowing when I got them. I got them like what 2 months ago, month ago, and they're doing all right. I'm neglecting them. I feel bad. So I have to do a few things to make them a little bit better. I went out of town last week, so
Hippie, that's funny. When I grow in the wintertime, I do go in my grow room and sit down in the floor, and my dog comes in there and lays down because the UV coming off those lights. It does. It kind of feels like the sun. You don't get a
yeah.
tan, but you
No,
do
but
get
it's
UV, and it's always about 70 to 75 degrees, and the fans are going, so it's like a breezy summer day. And I'll
yeah.
just
Right
go
now,
sit in
my temp's probably 77 degrees right now.
I'll just
I
go in there and
looked
sit
at.
and chill, smoke weed in my grow room, and
Yep.
hang out with my plants.
Yeah. I actually had a problem last week before I turned my charcoal fan on, my vent fan to blow the heat out. My
Uh,
my one thing you guys don't want to do is have it so humid in there. You don't want 90. My humidity was like 97%.
oh,
It was
yeah.
it was it was a it was a sauna in there, and they loved it for a little bit, and then it was just like, okay, I gotta, but like I actually had like little mold particles growing on my tent,
I
so
was gonna say,
watch
watch
out for
out for
that.
mold.
Yeah, watch out
Yeah.
for that. Once I turned my fan on though, the mold dried up. I didn't touch it because if you touch it, it'll make the spores fly. So I just turned my vent fan on high for like 2 days to suck all the humidity out and
Mhm.
make it dry.
Perfect.
And it dried it out. It was, it's gone now, but that's the one good thing about growing indoors is you can control your surrounding.
You're in
You
complete
can
control of
control
the
the
environment.
your control of the environment 100%. Yeah. So yes, you do not want it so humid in there that where you got water on the side of your tent.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want it like that. But the only time you even want to think that there's a hint of any kind of moisture is the day you water.
Yep.
That's it. Yep, the day
Always
you
have the
water.
vent fan running.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen under grow lights that wasn't a plant? Myself, besides myself. Yeah, no. My grow room is like it's like an operating room. The walls are white, the floor is extra clean, ceiling's
It's almost
white.
it's almost 420, guys. We're gonna listen to some Bankrupt today.
We got another minute. But yeah, I don't let anything into my grow room. I don't grow anything in my grow room except pot. Period. Pot.
Last year, I actually found grass growing in my soil last year, and I didn't get it from like outside. Like I had somebody make it for me. Like I had a
Oh
friend of mine make it for me.
yeah, yeah,
She's really big into gardening,
yeah.
and she made the soil for me, and I planted them. And like a month later, I saw a couple strings of grass like this growing, and I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. But
There ain't
that's
nothing
good when
wrong
you
with it.
see that stuff. That's good when you see that stuff because that means you have good soil. You
Right.
know.
Everything's living. Plus, it's helping you.
Oh man, that looks like it's our last one, man.
That is our last one, man.
Good thing we can scrape the pipe, bro. Never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 Gee! Morning at this grapevine pipe. Knew that when I went to bed last night. Had a premonition in my head that I never gonna wake bankrupt again. Jumped on my bike and pedaled downtown on the lookout for the one John Brown. Found him in a corner parking lot, smoking spliffs, and said, "Here, man, you want to take a heat?" I said, "I'm never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again." Went back home to put the seeds in the soil. Compost recipe from brethren I know. Water pH to 6.1. Jah in control of the ebb and flow. Planting seeds, putting flower in my hand so that I will never awake bankrupt again. I said I'm never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 Always bring a flower to my friends. Always connecting to the music of medicine. Always finding ways to sing. Positivity and healing vibes. Always attracting my tribe. Always vulnerable to the tides. Always accountable for my strides. Holding on, not folding beyond. Letting go and letting you know. Bankrupt isn't never gonna be a part of my flow. I said I'm never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 Driving around, I see John Brown. Him said, dead a man. Him said, him never gonna be bankrupt again. I said, hey John Brown, can I give you a hand so that you yourself will never be bankrupt again? I said, never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Wow!
All right, happy 420, everybody.
Those elevator roots bankrupt.
All right.
So we got a question right here. Yeah, what's the minimum light? Lots of lighting you need to grow inside. Depends
400.
on I would say it depends on how many plants you're growing. Like if you're only growing like a couple of plants, like two or three, like two plants, you probably get away with 400.
Yep. I was gonna say if you got like a closet and you only want to plant maybe 400 watts, more than
I have
especially
1,000 watts because it was for two reasons. One, it was free. Two, I was growing 6 plants at that time.
yeah,
Yeah,
I have a
each plant's gonna take about 100 watts of light.
yeah, I have a 1,000 that I don't even use, a LED 1,000, because it's huge. It's too much for where I'm growing. And
Is
then
it?
I got an 800. I also got a 1,000, but it's in a long strip. It looks like it's like 4 feet long and about a foot wide. But I find it works better for me, and it's adjustable. It's got the adjustable ballast. But even though it's rated for 1,000, I only run it about 800, 750, 800. It just it works for me. Usually the last week or so of flowering, I'll run it way up there.
Yeah, you could get away with two plants at 200 watts, but I would go a little bit bigger just to be
Still
sure.
bigger.
There's bud growth as well. You got to think about your bud growth.
That's why I say 400 watts, because generally you can squeeze two plants into like 2 foot square. 2 foot this way by 2 foot that way. That's going to get you 100 watts per square foot.
Yep.
So if you can squeeze two plants in there, all the better. There's math. There's math that goes along with this stuff. That's what I'm saying. Buy yourselves those grow Bibles. It'll have all the facts, the figures, the calculations.
I'll be
They
getting.
get way nerdy into the light stuff. It gets all like geometry with it. It's weird. I need to go deep into light like I do the soil. But now that I'm growing outside, there's nothing I can do about the light. The sun is the sun. You
So
know,
go on Amazon. I can't believe I'm about to tell you this, but go on Amazon, and they have a 2 pack of lights right now. They're 1,000 watts a piece. The 2 pack of lights is on sale for like $70.
that's a good deal.
Yeah, that's
Even if
exact.
you only got even if you only got 3, 4 grows per light before they burn out.
You paid
That's not saying that they
$60 for
won't.
two
I've had
lights.
Vespa lights. I've had a 1,000 watt Vespa. I bought that sucker like 3 years ago, and I grew with it every year, and it never burned out. Ever burned out. It's a good light, and it was a cheap light.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. LED lights have come so far, so far. The boards, the lights, the chips, everything. So everything's going to be a pretty decent product. Do I need timer for my grow lights? Yes, you do.
Unless you want to set a timer on your phone and go in there every day and turn the light off. and on.
Yep. Yep. You need a timer for lights, period.
Timers are cheap. You can get those on Amazon for like $5 or $10. Some of them you could even buy like they sell like little grow like whole grow tents with the lights. The light's never usually very good. It's good for sprouting and seedlings, but it's never really good for like the flower stage or the vegetation stage as far as getting them bigger. Um, but you can get one. I think I saw a Mars Hydro. It had like a couple of pots, the scrog screen, the hydrometer, the grow hygrometer is actually what they're called, is a hygrometer.
I
Um,
got 'em. I
what
know, but
yeah. Well, I'm talking to the people.
yeah, I know what you're trying to say though. I
Yeah,
always call it a hygrometer anyway, not a
hygrometer.
hydrometer.
Yeah. So I mean, those things you can get it for like $300. It comes with a bunch of shit, and I mean, look around on Amazon if you don't want to, or if you're legal like Ohio and you have a place that you can go to buy the shit, but you know it's going to be expensive. You know, Amazon's always going to be your best friend.
I say I heard a rumor, but I think Tennessee may have joined the ranks of the
Oh,
land of the free now. That's what I've heard. I need to do some deep dive. I need to look into it, but yeah, I've heard grumblings that Tennessee may have been set free, have been led to the promised land.
nice. It's about time.
It's about
We need to
time.
make it federally legal so the states can just do whatever they want.
Can I grow weed using only sunlight from a window?
So I've seen people
Technically,
do it.
technically, yes.
Yeah, I've seen people do it. But the problem is the window is filtering the light, I feel like.
It would be more like a bonsai plant though. It would probably be only like 6 inches tall and the tiniest little bud you ever seen. But yeah, you probably could. I mean, it may get bigger. I don't know. Try it. Try it and see. Yeah, that's all I can say. I mean, as long as you're getting enough light through the window, it's going to do
Yeah,
what it does.
you gotta have 12 hours at least, for the flowering stage. So, and to get 12 hours of sunlight in one window, that's unless you have a room that's all windows,
Well,
like a
I would say
greenhouse, but not quite a greenhouse.
indirect lighting counts. It doesn't have to be directly on the plant
Right.
because indirect lighting, I know inside when you're growing indoors and you got a grow tent, and let's say it's in your room, your bedroom, and you got a crack in your grow tent, you go in your bedroom, turn the light on. You're corrupting your grow tent. It's indirect lighting. It's going to tell those plants to wake up. It's like going to be false twilight. So same thing. Same thing with growing in a window. Indirect lighting counts. It'll keep the plant awake, but it won't do anything for its growth cycle. Basically,
So if you want a mother, stick a plant in the window. Stick one of your adult plants in the window.
yeah, just stick it out there. Somebody gets good light. South side of the house, patio door, something like that. Something's going to get lots of good light. More light, the better.
The more light, the better. So you said you were gonna do an unboxing.
Oh yeah.
You wanted to do an unboxing. What you got for us today, Mooch?
I showed you these last week when we did our thing, but I'll show Hippie. I got these in the mail. I ordered these. They came in the mail with no problems whatsoever.
It is legal to mail seeds
Very legal under the hemp act.
on the plane.
But let me hold these up here. I got my from Ethos Genetics. Ethos Genetics. See the little feminized there in the corner. All right, these were five pack of seeds of grape balls of fire. Grape balls.
Indirect we keep from burning the plant, yes, but it has to be enough. It has to be for a long period of time because like any plant, you need a certain amount of hours of light.
Yes. Yeah. And what else? And from Mephisto Genetics. Check this out. I got this from Mephisto, and still in the box. Hadn't even opened it yet. I've just been
Sad.
waiting. Mephisto Genetics. These are my auto flowers.
It came in a box. Like how many did you buy? Like fucking 30?
No, no. I only got a couple of seeds, and then they send you. I haven't even opened the freebies yet. I don't even know what they sent me for free. But these are connoisseur aromatics. These are like could be considered pretty expensive, $22 a seed. So you get what you pay for, but they also send free seeds. So technically, $11 a seed. They sent me 2 seeds for $22, but one of them was a free. I don't know how that works.
No, they do
Yeah,
that all the time.
check it out. It comes with their little. It's pretty cool little box.
Oh, looks like you got 2 nice packages in there.
Yep. See that? Let's see. These are the Mephisto genetics. These are the double grape.
You got 1 seed in there?
There should be 2 seeds in there.
Okay, so you got 4 seeds.
Yep. Yep.
You got
There's 2.
in that
There's
pack?
one little vial with 2 seeds in there. I can hear them click. So that's double grape.
Nice.
And these are auto flowers. So these will be done by about 4th of July, a little bit after 4th of July. Double grape. Yes. This packet is the Skywalker.
Nice. Skywalker's good if you've never had it. Anybody who's never had it.
You've never had Skywalker? It's an old school. See, these guys they started in England because basically in England you only got this little grow. It's like growing in Alaska. You got this tiny little window to grow in, and they were growing auto flowers all the time.
Yeah, it's because it's the shorter windows.
Shorter
Things.
window. And
You can have auto flower in 3 months, 4 months.
so they kept having to go over to Spain and get their genetics and bring them back to England. So they finally just moved to Spain and started their own seed company. They're selling seeds all over the world now. Connoisseur, like super duper tasty, super terpy. I'm excited to grow them. I really am. I'll give you guys a progress report. But this is the freebie. I don't even know what's inside of it. So it really helps us grow our little company. So please enjoy these free seeds.
Put them up, Mocho. See what's in there.
Also, feel free to share these if you have a friend in need of a bean. Much love, the MGT. All right. I'm going to open it up.
Yeah. I got like 4 free seeds when I ordered from, and it's crazy. Most of those seeds popped, and then they all died.
Let's see. What did I get?
Should give you at least a little paper in there with a little note telling you what it is.
Yeah. I got Sour Stomper crossed with double grape.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
How many did they give you?
2 free seeds.
Nice.
Sour Stomper crossed with double grape. Oh, these are going to be so tasty. God dang. Yeah, that's going to be nice. Check it out. That was my freebies. And then they sent stickers. Check it out.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, dude, they got the nicest swag bags here. This is pretty cool. Let me open this up and check out these stickers. What do we got? Oh, check it out. They sent little plant stakes. So
Oh,
you
nice.
can plant your seeds and then you know what's what.
That one's a pig.
Yeah, that's their logo. That's their symbol.
Oh, really?
Yep. Mephisto,
right?
And then this one looks like the mountains and it's got a pig on the other side. And it's got the little QR
Put that
scanner.
website up in the chat.
Do what?
You said Mephisto, right?
Yes. Here, let me hold it up here, see if they can. Is that backwards or frontwards?
I can read it. It's frontwards.
Yep, Mephisto Genetics. All right, what else we got? And stickers. Mephisto Genetics, written all gangster looking.
Nice.
And what do we got? Mephisto. It's meth heads. Mephisto heads. And
He gave you a lot of stickers.
a straight up Mephisto Genetics sticker.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's sweet.
I'll be checking
Heck
them out.
yeah. I'm totally pleased with Mephisto's. At least their packaging. If their seeds and their product is as good as their
I,
packaging, I'm going
I
to be
ordered the
so
seeds.
over the moon.
When I ordered the seeds, the one company from the one company that I got, I'm not going to say their name because I don't really care for them. They put like the plastic cardboard. You know, like they make the signs out of you put in people's yards.
Uh-huh.
They cut a square of that, and they put a Q-tip cotton at the bottom, filled it with the seeds, and then they put another Q-tip at the top so the seeds wouldn't come out. They didn't have any fancy packaging. They wrapped it up in a sprouting paper to tell you how to sprout them.
It says
And then,
pioneering autoflowers since 2012. And if you go online and go read, they have won the past 2 years running like all kinds of awards for the past 2 years for their terps and their genetic and it just everything about them. They are on top of their game right now. So that's what drew me to them. So
who told
yeah,
you about them?
I'm looking forward to growing them. I'm looking forward to doing it up. Man, that's going to be so awesome. Plus, I'm going to be smoking fresh buds by mid-July.
Yeah,
Everything
probably
else,
about that.
everything else in the garden's going to be just going into flower, trying to start thinking about flowering, and these are going to be done. See, that's the way you play the numbers game. In the state I'm in, you can have 6 plants in the seedling stage, 6 plants in the vegetative stage, and 6 plants in the flowering stage at any given time. So if you get your auto flowers off by July, mid-July, they're done flowering and they're out of your garden. So everything that was in veg can go into flower, and you're still legal beagle.
And that's when all your light changes, your light cycle changes outside because you'll have the from like the end of May to July, end of July is the long those are the longest days of the year.
Yep. Do better lights always equal bigger buds? Yes. Um, it's a lot about light penetration as far as it can get down into your canopy. It doesn't mean bigger buds; it just means more buds. How's that? Because your buds do it is got something to do with your lights, but it's also about your genetics. It's also about how you take care of the plants.
Yep.
It's dancing the dance inside. Yes, that's why I
100%.
like going outside so much. It's just doing it organic and using the sun. Can poor lighting lead to that?
I mean, maybe.
It could, but that's it. If it's that poor of a light, then you probably either got too many plants or your plant's too bushy for the light you got, and it's going to be on the way outside or the way inside.
Yeah, you don't want to be like you don't want to grow. Um, you don't want to be growing in a tent this size with like 7 or 8 plants in there. Like I grew 6 plants in there, and that was too many. They didn't have a
Yeah.
chance to.
Less can be more sometimes.
I didn't have. I only had a couple of big buds on my autoflowers. Don't top autoflowers, by the way, guys. Never top an autoflower. You'll lose your big bud. You'll lose your big cola.
Yeah,
I did
let
that.
an auto flower just do its thing. Don't pinch it, don't roll it, don't bend it, don't shock it. Just let it grow
Right.
because it's a race. It's a race to see how big the flowers can get before the life cycle is over. And
100%.
that's why I prefer to do my auto flowers. I like to have them off by mid-July because just what he just said. The longest days of the year are from about 1st of June till about the last of July. Those are the absolute longest days of the year. So you're making the most bud outside. So that's why I want the end of flowering right in that time.
Yeah, and also that's for your photos if you're growing photos outside.
And if you
That's when they're going to the flowering stage.
yeah, after July they start flowering, but during that long days, the longest days of the year, yeah, you should be throwing some fish emulsion and all that good stuff during the hot days of summer because they are putting on growth. They're putting on vegetative state right then. You know.
They're packing it in.
Yep. Yep.
Remember
Before you
worms,
know
guys. Worms.
it, and
Put
before
worms
you
in
know
your
it, they're going to start changing. They're going to start putting on flowers, and then it's a whole different game. You ever have to apologize to your plants for forgetting to turn the lights back on? Yeah. No. Usually when I turn my lights off, if I grow indoors, I'll leave the lights off for 3 days. Use two days just to shock the plant. I'll leave them sitting in there for 2 days in the dark before I cut them down.
when you're growing though, um, like say you have like a power outage, um, and you're growing inside. If you have if you have to go days without power, your plants probably won't make it if they're in a grow tent. You have to take
I've
them outside.
experienced this. I've experienced that very thing. Um, your plant. I used a flashlight, a regular old. They'll go to the little emergency little. They look like a mini lantern, and you touch the top, and the little LEDs come on, and
Yep.
it's just bright enough to light. I put like two of those in my grow tent and left them on for the grow cycle and kept them on cycle. They didn't do any growing, they didn't do any producing of bud, but it kept them on cycle. And that's what I was saying about even indirect light will keep your plant awake. Because your plant is like a person. They're awake during the day and they go to sleep at night and they rest. And that's when they expirate. That's when they put off all their it's called expirating. That their little cells on the underside of the leaves open up and they start breathing deep, and it's like when you lay on your back and you totally relax. The plant is fully functioning. It functions better.
Right.
And if they're constantly asleep and then you wake them up, they get rude, they get grumpy. They're but if you keep them on cycle, like I said, that even that indirect lighting will keep them on cycle. It'll wake them up. It'll tell them, okay, it's twilight or it's a cloudy day or something. You know what I mean, like that. But it'll keep your plant on cycle. So if you live in an area that's prone to power outages, I would keep a little handy little light source just in case.
Yep.
But yeah, it's all about keeping them on cycle, keeping the routine going.
I mean,
And even
if you want to go expensive, you can buy a generator and run other stuff like for your fridge, you
mhm,
know, stuff like that. But
but just remember, you got to run that generator
hungry,
for
you got to feed them.
10 hours. They start toward the fridge. Yeah. I didn't pretend I was a plant. I was just laying there. But yeah, like I said before, wintertime, there's nothing better than going into your grow room and
Yeah.
experiencing a little bit of summertime.
See, the problem is when you got purple lights, when you got the purplish pink lights, and you
Blurple.
go in your grow room, and then you come out of your grow room for like 10 minutes, you're seeing everything in green.
Green.
Just know that
But
the white lights are better for that. Like if you want to go hang out in your grow room, go hang out, and there's some white lights, not the purple.
if you want to go in your grow room at night, when it's during the dark cycle, you need a green light. That's why you see green. That's why you see green when you come out of the grow rooms. Is because those lights are throwing everything but green.
Yeah,
You're trying to filter all these things out, so when you step out, your eyes go from like super pinpoint dilate to open wide open, and the only thing they're catching is green. And he's
yep,
right. You can put a green bulb in your grow room if you absolutely have to go in there during the off cycle and work or change. I know a lot of people that do like flood and drain or the DWC, the deep water culture. They'll work under a green light just because it takes a little bit of time to be able to change out your water. You can't always get in there during the day cycle, but a lot of people work under green lights, and it works out really well.
yep. I've seen that, but yeah, if you're gonna sit in your grow room, the white lights are the best to hang out in
Yeah,
because those actually you'll still see green, but it's not gonna be as intense because you're seeing a white light instead of a fucking purple light.
exactly. Yeah,
Like
those purple.
I have a white light and a purple light in mine. I got a little 30, 40 watt, uh, it's like a strip light.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, it's good to have the white. You need the good dose of blue. But while I was telling you the story about back in the day when we had lights, I remember back in like 2008 or 9, my brother ordered one of the very first UFO. It was called the UFO, and it was a disc LED light, and it was about a foot around, and it had 30 or 40 LEDs on it, and it cost him, I think, about $150.
Yeah, those weren't that expensive actually.
And it was one of the first ones that ever came out. He was like, he was reading it. He's like, this one light, because it was supposed to be the equivalent of a 400-watt light or something of that ilk. But he bought it and he grew his weed under it, and it worked really well for what it was in 2008. But you can go online right now and buy the same size light, and it'll be like an 800 watt. It's the light that big will do,
Yeah,
a tent like Jimmy's, you
yep,
know, and it's incredible where the technology has gone to, where it's went. It's crazy. Like I said, if I can get my situation figured out here, I may start growing. But it's going into summertime now, so it'll be next fall before if I decide to grow indoors again. I probably will. Just depends on what happens outdoors. That's what I'm saying. By the time October hits, I'm sitting so flush. It's like I don't even think about going indoors.
you're flush now though. Like you got jars
Yeah, yeah, and I
previous
don't have to worry about it. Yeah, that's the peace of
yeah,
mind of it.
years ago.
Yeah, that's the peace of mind of it right there.
That's what I'm looking for.
Put enough in your personal stash and hang on to it. Don't be all like giving it away to everybody, because next thing you know, it's gone and you can't get no more.
Yep.
Be generous, but don't be dumb.
I mean, give people like a nugget or two. Don't go be going like giving them quarters and halves.
I always put back what I think I need. If I smoke this much a month, that's how much I put back, and then what's left over is like, okay,
Yeah,
this is my fun stuff here. This is my fun batch. Yeah, look out. We gotta look out for yourself. Ain't nobody else gonna do it.
you're doing all the work. You're doing it for yourself. It's your medicine. That's why I do it.
Absolutely.
And it's
Yeah,
always best to grow your own medicine because you know what you're putting in it. You know how it's growing. You know.
Yeah, there's lots of videos out there now on YouTube about people that take dispensary weed and go have it tested.
Yeah.
That's not no bueno. I'm not going to try to scare anybody off, and I'm not trying to ruin anybody's businesses, but you
No,
should
there.
never put it in your body.
He was saying some. He knows a woman that was doing some testing and found stuff in dispensary weed. She was also testing cigarellos, the cigars that people roll blunts with.
Yes,
Um, one of them had like metal and stuff in it, and iron, and
heavy metals is the word.
yeah.
Yep, pesticides, herbicides, pesticides, and heavy metals.
So yeah, there is stuff that happens in dispensaries. The grow sites where they grow dispensary weed, and they don't catch on to it. So beware. Like that's why I don't go to Ohio dispensaries, because it's not, you know, it's not to my liking.
Yeah, that's why I condone growing your own if you can. If you're all able to do that, do it. It's the same as growing your own food. If you know what's going into your body, then you know you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You think when you go to the grocery store or go down to Walmart or wherever, and you go through the grocery or the produce aisle and the little misters come on, you think that's just water they're spraying on that shit?
Hell no, there's chemicals in there too. They're trying to brighten up the fruit.
Preservatives, chemicals. Yeah, that's why they always tell you to wash everything when it comes from the grocery. That's why it should kill
And,
you.
and the
Yeah,
water they
same
are
thing.
using is tap water anyway. It's not like they're using. I don't like.
Same
I'll say
mentality.
this till the day I die. Never, ever, ever, ever use tap water to water your pot plants. Ever.
Mhm.
There's so many chemicals in your tap water, depending on where you live at. It's crazy because
Chlorine and chlorine.
yeah,
Two deadly chemicals.
chlorine and fluoride, and there's particle. Like if you let it sit there, like you sometimes you'll see particles float to go to the bottom.
Yep.
It's
Fluoride. Fluoride is as deadly a poison as chlorine or cyanide. Just as deadly.
yep,
And they put it in your toothpaste.
yes sir.
And fluorine, they put it in your water.
Yeah, chlorine will choke your plant out. Like even if you put nutrients in there, and that's why they say pH. You always pH like if you're using tap water.
Mhm.
But if you have like if you spend the money and go buy the reverse osmosis water from Walmart, them big clear jugs you put on the watering machine, that actually grows really, really good pot. Like I know somebody else on Instagram who I follow who's a grower,
If if
and
you ab-
she uses reverse osmosis water, and she gets great crops every time.
if you absolutely have to and you can't afford an RO, I have done this before and it absolutely works. Draw up 2 or 3 5-gallon buckets of water, go set them out in the sun, and let them vape off, and also drop an air stone down in it and let it aerate for about a day, maybe two, and it's what's called vaping off, and it'll vaporize all the chlorine and fluorine and it helps. It doesn't get it all, but it's better than not doing anything.
Right.
So, oh shit, we're almost out of time.
Yeah. 1 minute.
Let's we got 10 seconds.
Oh. What do you say? Oh no, right there. Yeah, 10 seconds.
Yep, we're done now. Look at there,
Well,
boom. All
thanks for
right.
hanging out, everybody.
Welcome to the room where the green vibes flow, where the lights shine bright and the knowledge will grow. From soil to the sun, we'll master the art. To grow room's the place, let's spark up the start. The grow room where the secrets bloom. Plant your dreams, watch them consume. We'll guide the buds to a perfect tune. Step inside, it's the grow room.